Hello and welcome back to some more Genshin Impact. So, at the end of the last video, I said that I was going to be doing the Archon Quest, but I also mentioned that if there was a timed event that was added, and if the time limit on it was short enough, that I would probably be doing that too. So I believe I'm going to be starting this video off with this one. In fact, I definitely am. So, Mutual Security Enhancing Simulation is what it's called. In order to improve the security situation throughout Teyvat, the Millilith and the armed forces of neighboring nations are working together to hold a cooperative war game, seeking ways to improve their tactics. So let's go over there. I'm all the way over in Inazuma right now. But, yeah, I'm going to be just doing a little bit of this and then moving on to the Archon Quest. I know how long Archon Quest can be and how extensive they can be, so I just wanted to make sure I got some progress done on this so that way I can decide whether or not to do the rest of it off camera. Huh? Why did someone put up a structure here? It kind of looks like it for holding meetings. Blah, blah, blah. I can't keep up with what Paimon's saying, unfortunately. The chiseled face, as though a classical sculpture come to life, in an unrivaled aura that surpasses common folk. You must be the Commander Aether of whom the rumors speak, no? Your reputation precedes you. I was just thinking of entrusting the Adventurers Guild with sending you a letter, extending an invitation to you to join our meeting. But you somehow seem to have foreseen this. Commander? Join what meeting now? You're being so formal. It feels as like you're treating Aether like some kind of super professional warrior. Oh, but you have been far more than mere warriors. You have crossed blades with countless monsters and formidable foes during your journey across 5 nations, and your exploits have been painstakingly recorded and repeatedly analyzed by the armed forces of each nation. That dog that keeps panting in the background there, the game, is driving me nuts. Whether the Knights of Favonius, Millilith, Shogunate, Samurai, Corps of 30, or Mason Guardianage, each and every one of the armed services has given nothing but very highest of marks to your combat abilities and stratagems. Aether has the capability to lead the front or command from the rear. If possible, active cooperation must be established with them. Therefore, I, Staff Officer Su Ding, I think that's how you say that, of the Millilith, hereby formally invite you to participate in the war game of 5 armies and assume the post of senior consultant therein. What say you to this proposal? The remuneration package for senior consultants is quite considerable, and their total daily compensation for the duration of the event will be on par with that of the Millilith sergeant. That's the Millilith for you, straight to the point. A sergeant's pay, eh? Now that sounds tempting. But we still don't know what the deal is. We don't know anything about wargaming. Don't be concerned about that. I shall now present you a detailed introduction of the event for your benefit. As you have seen, large numbers of monsters still roam the wilderness of Teyvat, and they cannot be eradicated in any sort of short time frame. In order to effectively deal with the monster threat, the armed services of our neighboring nations are compiling intel regarding commonly encountered monsters, seeking to analyze the threat they pose and share knowledge amongst ourselves. To this end, the Millilith General Staff has created tabletop game pieces based on all kinds of monsters in order to simulate hostile confrontations, and from this, analyze their combat capabilities to the best of our ability. For this iteration of the wargame, we've invited members serving in various combat units to utilize their own radically different mindsets and perspectives to control the game pieces, finding the optimal method to suppress the monster threat. And as you are not part of any of the armies, and are a rare tactical genius, you can provide an especially valuable analytical angle, greatly increasing the scope and efficiency of our wargame. Paimon thinks she gets it, so you guys are having a meeting to discuss the most convenient and safest way to deal with monsters. Now you're talking Paimon's language. After all, we've got first-hand experience dealing with dangerous baddies from all over, and we've also played lots of chess-like board games before. If we can help a bunch of countries keep peace just by playing games like we did before, and also get a pile more while we're at it, does that count as a whole flock of birds with one stone? Casually game some more, save the day. Looks like this time I might want to take things a bit more seriously. Please relax, and just use the same mentality as you do when you usually confront monsters. You've earned yourself a reputation for being utterly unflappable amongst the soldiers of every nation. The board is ready, and we can begin the simulation at any time. Let us witness the unique strategic prowess possessed only by a genius commander such as yourself. So this might be similar to that one thing that we've done before. I forgot what it was called. It's been a long while since I've done it, though. Oh, I just remember what it's called. It's Theater Mechanicus. Anyways, Assault Scenario is what we'll go with first. So complete the scenario within 210 seconds to claim everything. I'm assuming that I definitely want these to be able to claim all the different prizes. And how many of these are there? Okay. So I won't be able to do all of these in this video anyway, so I'll probably just do one assault scenario and then one defense scenario. And then that way I'll have done some of this and then I'll move on to the other. After selecting combat unit, it can be deployed within your base's staging area. When you're selecting combat units, you can jump to cancel your selection. After the combat units have been deployed, they will automatically engage the enemy. Leadership skill usages will be replenished over time, and you may have up to 2 usages at once. Tap to use the skill immediately or hold to aim the skill. While aiming, sprint or jump to cancel using it. Different types of combat units suppress other types of units. AoE damage units have a significant advantage against squad units. At the same time, melee units suppress ranged units. And ranged units suppress flying units, and flying units suppress melee units. Well, I mean, they have the symbols there. Hopefully they keep them, like, on screen somewhere. So that way I can have, like, a good idea. Melee units are more resilient in battle, able to absorb more damage and protect other units to an extent. You know, it's not like it's that complicated of a concept, because I played plenty of games where they have that kind of system. It's just that, you know, they're introducing it right now in this particular, you know, situation. So, anyways, we've got to configure our lineup. And, let's see. Ooh. Now this is interesting. So I can have monsters, well, enemy types, basically, fighting for me. Now that is really bizarre. What about synthesized intel? Oh, you can, like, read a little bit about them? Oh boy, this is gonna be a lot more complicated than I initially thought. Leadership skill not set, cannot begin the scenario. Oh, I need to set this. Leadership skill, sweeping whirlwind. The wild winds converge, drawing in opponents within a certain radius for 6 seconds and dealing a Nemo damage. It has a 45-second cooldown, has 2 initial uses. So let's add that. This is definitely not like Theater Mechanicus, but then again, if you look on the left there, it looks like there's 3 different objects, you know, 2 red and 1 blue, which I assume means pyro and hydro. So those might be like the little devices used in Theater Mechanicus. Anyways, let's go ahead and start. During assault scenarios, your goal is to use the combat units to destroy the opposing base. Yeah, that makes sense. In a short period of time after a stronghold mechanism is destroyed, it will be reset as the opposing side's stronghold mechanism. So yeah, they are Theater Mechanicus mechanisms. You want to destroy them so that they can become yours. Units can be deployed near your own stronghold mechanism. So you do have your own to start. And you can call them out like this. Wait. Oh. What? Excuse me? You know what? Deploy within your base. Okay, there we go. There's my guy. I was confused there for a second. I was like, I don't know. Oh, you have to deploy him while you're here. Okay. That makes sense. And then that became mine. Oh. I have to go back over here to deploy this guy. Then I can deploy this guy, and then these guys. Okay. That's easy enough. So just let them take care of everything. This is very, very interesting for sure. Oh, this became my new base. Because of the fact that
Let's end this now.
I took over this little thing here.
Fry.
So, ooh, cool. And there we go, I win. That was really easy, but at the same time, slightly confusing. I think I like that, though. It was very, very unique compared to anything else we've ever done before. Actually, it's kind of similar to that fungi thing, isn't it? Not quite the same, but similar. Anyways, I got all that stuff. Now we've got this. We've got to complete the scenario with at least 75% of our defense left to claim everything from the looks of it. So let's go ahead and just choose all of our stuff. I already have my lineup chosen and my leadership skill. And there are a total of 3 enemy waves. And if you look on the left there, the blue, I believe, represents our devices. So we want to defend those in this challenge. Anyways, let's start. Defense scenarios consist of 3 rounds. In each round, enemies will attack from different directions. You must protect your own stronghold through... Yeah. After combat units are defeated, they will drop support beacons. Support beacons can be used to deploy allied combat units in frontline buildings. Okay. During defense scenarios, when deploying combat units, their defensive zones will be visible. Once an opponent enters this combat zone, the unit will lock onto and initiate combat against them. During defense scenarios, after your combat units are no longer engaged in battle, they will return to the position they were originally deployed to. When deploying, take care to choose appropriately. Okay. So, basically, I have to be a little bit careful with how I do this. I generally hate modes like this, like, you know, things like this where you have to defend things, especially when you have no control. Like, I have no control over how my units are going to behave. Let's go ahead and put that there. Whoops. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah, that'll do that against them. I can put another one down right here. Kinda get rid of that guy. Let's put this one right here. I got some kind of support beacon somewhere. I don't know. Deal a little bit of damage to that. Oh, there it is. So I can place another one down right here and claim that and put that right there. Okay, cool. This is neat. I like it. So I'm assuming that this can attack as well, you know, just like these can, but I could be wrong. Anyways, oh, I was waiting for the enemies to appear. I was like, why aren't they appearing? That's because they give you a little bit of a break. So if you look in the upper left, I have 99% left on my HP. I don't know how they managed to get through like that, but whatever. Doesn't matter. This is not good for me because they just got through, which means that I need to... Okay, good. Where should I place this? Oh, I'm already on the 3rd round? Okay. Oh, I almost missed that. May as well place that down. So I have another usage of this ability but I don't know if I want to use it just yet. Well, actually, against those things... Oh, no. Did they not get trapped in it? Oh, well. You know what? Let's put this one right here. I think it's better to have that one right there. Gives it a little bit more range to deal with both paths. Okay, nice. Actually, that wasn't as bad as it could have been. I think I prefer the first version a lot more, though. Because I just don't like defense type things like that. I mean, it's in the name, though, defense, right? Defense scenario. But I definitely prefer the assault scenario. Anyways, let's leave and start the Archon Quest. I will be doing more of that in the next video. Probably a lot more of it in the next video. I'm not sure. Like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 more matches. Before I move on to the Archon Quest, though, let's go ahead and claim that. And anything else I can claim from this. Why is there... Oh, that's what that is. Never mind. Okay. So yeah, let's go down to Bedtime Story. After listening to the bedtime story that day, all the Hilly Churls had a dream. The young soul waved goodbye, and the people and sun slept together warmly. Okay, so obviously you saw Aether and his sister there in that little picture. And then you have in the background there Dainsleif. So this ought to be interesting. I'm going to enable focused experience mode, so that way I won't be interrupted while I do this. So
perfect. It's you two. I have a commission here that has your names written all over it. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say you're the only ones for the job.
The only ones for the job? Huh. If our help is really that important, it's probably some Archon class commission, right?
I've never heard of that classification before. But sure, we're happy to take this on. Which Archon do you need us to deal with today? Wow, they're going straight to it, huh?
The Adventurers Guild doesn't employ that kind of classification system. In fact, this commission is also probably not nearly as intimidating as what you're expecting.
Nah.
All it asks us to do is to find a missing person.
Sure.
Huh? Then why did you say we were the only ones for the job?
I came across this commission while reviewing our backlog not too long ago. It seems simple, but our records indicate that over a dozen successive efforts to complete it have all ended in failure, despite attempts by several accomplished and renowned adventurers. With the reputation of the Adventurers Guild and the performance of the Sumeru branch at stake, it's in our best interest to assign this commission to the adventurer with the highest completion rate over the past few years.
Well, that's us for sure.
Flattery will get you everywhere with Paimon, but I can't guarantee we'll be able to complete it either.
All I'm asking is for you to give it your best shot. If it proves to be beyond your capabilities as well, I'll talk to the commissioner about canceling the commission.
Okay, so who are we looking for? And what is it about this commission that's made it so hard to complete?
Is Paimon's voice different? I don't know, it just sounds slightly different to me, but maybe it's just me.
This commission was jointly issued by the residents of Vimara Village. They say one of their own villagers has gone missing.
Really now?
But the problem is, they don't know the missing person's name. They can only provide information about his general appearance.
Oh, so it must have been like somebody that was visiting and never provided his name. I'm betting Dainsleif.
They're all from the same village, but they don't even know his name? If so many adventurers have failed to complete this commission, maybe this missing villager doesn't exist at all. Could it be some sort of a prank or something?
Unlikely. Several villagers came by to issue the commission, and judging by their appearance and tone of voice, they seemed incredibly sincere. It certainly didn't seem like a joke to them.
Huh.
Besides, putting up a commission requires a processing fee. There aren't many upsides to a prank that costs Mora to carry out.
True, that would be a little strange.
In any case, it would probably be best to go to Vimara Village and ask around first. The Adventurers Guild does have some information on hand, but I would say anything you can learn directly from the villagers would be far more reliable. The best way to avoid misdirection is to go to the source.
Alright then, let's go! I'm starting to get really curious about this whole thing.
Huh. So because this is a Sumeru Archon Quest, I'm betting it's just going to be completely insane. While I'm here, I may as well do this very fast.
Thank you for complete.
Since I did complete the commissions. Anyways, so yeah, let's go all the way down here. Now, here's the thing about Sumeru's Archon Quest.
We made it to Vamara Village! Why don't we talk to some of the villagers to learn a little bit more about the missing guy? If this commission is really as challenging as Catherine made it out to be, we're gonna need to carry out a very detailed investigation.
Anyways, as I was saying, because this is a Sumeru Archon Quest, I always expect them to have some kind of weird plot twist. Like, something that you don't see coming until it actually happens.
You looking to buy something? I do business in this area.
I mean, you can usually actually kind of suss out what's going on, but it's done in such a way where you're still completely shocked by it.
Oh, no, we're adventurers. Catherine sent us to look into a commission here in Vamara Village.
Ah, so you're here about that, then. Ah, you're not the first, that's for sure. We've certainly made a lot of trouble for you all. To be honest, we aren't holding out much hope. Many adventurers have made their way out here, confident they'd be able to help us, only to leave soon after with nothing to show for their efforts. We've pretty much had it up to here in questions, and the area around the village has practically been overturned in search of clues. But no one has been able to make any headway.
These people must really like this missing person.
So, this person we're looking for, what's his name? Where did he live? Does he have any relatives?
I don't know. I really have no clue. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, guess you are really sick of answering questions.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound short with you. I was actually just giving you my answer to your questions.
So those 3 questions are a no-go then. Is there anything else you can tell us?
I know it may seem like we don't have anything to offer by way of information, but I promise you, we all have a very strong impression of him. When you live in the same village as someone, you develop a lot of memories together, you know? We just don't know the specifics. Maybe we did at one point, but that information is long gone by now. You know
what this is reminding me of? It's reminding me of what happens when Aranara are forgotten by people, right? Like, the Aranara, children can remember them, but once they, start getting older, they slowly start to forget that they existed at all, and they start to believe that they're just figments of their imagination. So it's kind of like that, right? Kind of.
At least
Maybe.
That's what everyone in the village seems to think. We've all exchanged what we know, and that was the only logical conclusion.
Speaking of the R&R, I still haven't finished all the quests related to them. I feel really bad about that. I need to finish those quests.
Alright, specifics aside then, what kind of person was he?
Young guy. In his early 20s, probably. Incredibly kind sort of person. Always willing to lend a helping hand. I'd chat with him when I didn't have any customers. I even saw him stick out his neck for others on more than one occasion. Very interesting guy, that one.
I wonder what was up with that weird flicker that just occurred.
Now that you've started talking about him, you don't seem nearly as down in the dumps as you did before. Seems like he left a pretty good impression on you.
But of course, everyone in the village is pretty fond of him. We wouldn't have issued that commission otherwise. There aren't many young people like him nowadays. So genuine and pure. To think that he just up and disappeared one day. I just hope nothing bad happened.
Could he have just moved away without telling anyone?
No, he's not the type to leave without saying goodbye. And anyway, moving away without being seen by a single person in the village? There's no way he would have been able to manage that.
Huh. Alright, thanks for the information. We're gonna go ask around some more.
Paimon, why didn't you ask where he lives? That would be one of the things I would do, but okay, whatever. Let's talk to him again.
I really hope he's okay. Please, we're counting on you to find him.
So the next person on the list is not that guy like I was expecting. It's somebody over there.
It's that guests I hear.
Hey, we've talked to this guy before in the past, during one of the side quests. It may have been an R&R quest.
Hi, Grandpa Amadea. We're here to help you look for the guy that's gone missing.
Ah, so that's what brings you to these parts. Coming all this way for our sake. That's so very kind of you. With your help, I trust that young man's case is in good hands.
Could you tell us a bit about him?
Of course. I'm happy to help any way I can. With my failing eyesight, I'm afraid I can't offer much about his appearance. But I do remember hearing the sound of his voice. Not recently, of course. That loss has left me feeling quite empty. I don't think his parents are still living in the village. But somehow he never seemed lonely. In fact, he was usually the one offering companionship to others. He would often take time to visit the elderly, or play with the orphans in the village.
You know, I'm starting to think that this is not Dainsleif, but I could be wrong about that. It just doesn't seem like the type of person who would be doing the things that these guys are describing.
And whenever someone had something on their mind, he was there to listen with open ears. He always knew just what to say.
Then again, we don't really know much about Dainsleif. We've only encountered him in situations where, like, things were, happening. Like, action was going on, so...
As the village chief, I owe him many thanks. Helping villagers navigate difficult moments in their lives should have been one of my responsibilities. But he was often the one rising to the occasion.
Wow. He seems like such a nice and gentle person. No wonder his disappearance affected you all so much. But, you wouldn't happen to know any details about his name, address,
There
or
we
family
go.
situation, right?
Address.
I'm ashamed to admit it, but I just can't remember. No matter how you look at it, I should know those things. But for some reason,
Wait.
no matter how hard I try to remember, the information just doesn't come. Perhaps my age really has caught up with me this time.
So, how did they know that he didn't move away? Like, shouldn't they know his address at least? I don't know.
It's okay. There's no need to force yourself to try and remember. We'll figure something out. Well, Traveler, what do you think?
There's probably more to this case than meets the eye. A lot of things are not adding up.
I don't think so too. Like, the name thing. It's so weird that no one remembers his name.
You know what? I just thought of another thing that reminds me of. The previous Sumeru Archon, right? Wasn't there something about, like, names being forgotten or something? Or, like, her existence actually was forgotten. The previous incarnation of Nahida. I forgot what her specific name was, though. Anyways.
And nobody has been able to tell us anything about his family or where he lived? It's like this guy's been erased from reality or something.
I would say it's more like he's someone who only exists in people's memories. That's an interesting point, Aether.
Wait, so you're saying it's not that he's been erased, necessarily, but more like he never existed to begin with?
Perhaps only in people's dreams? Now that would be weird, wouldn't it? But then again, we have had dream stuff here in Sumeru before, so...
Okay, Paimon's gonna need some time to process that one. Someone who only exists in people's memories?
Could it be like what happened with Greater Lord Rukadavada? Yeah, that's the name. Of Nahida's previous incarnation. Like some sort of mass alteration of people's memories. Obviously, that wouldn't be a good thing if that happened.
You two are the adventurers who just arrived, right? You're here for the Vamara Village Commission?
Why the question marks?
Yep, sure are. We were just looking into the case.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank goodness you haven't given up. I've been so worried the Adventurers Guild might cancel our commission. My name is Atosa, by the way. I grew up here in Vamara Village. Anyway, I just wanted to say, please keep searching for a missing villager. I'm begging you. You have to find him.
I'm sure we'll track him down, and we'll certainly try our best.
Yeah, no need to worry. We'll give it our best shot. So, were you close to the missing villager? Are there any leads you can give us?
I'm not sure this counts as a lead, but follow me. There's a place I'd like to show you.
Okay, so is it the place that he lived at, or what? Oh, we're not literally following her, thankfully. It's just a tree.
Is this the place? Under this tree?
Yep. I know it doesn't look like much, but this place is very meaningful to me. It's so full of memories. We used to always sit together under this tree and talk. Sometimes we would look up at the clouds in the sky, or stop to feel the wind against our skin. We could sit there for hours at a time, never realizing how long it had been. I was actually adopted by the people of Vamar Village. The forest rangers found me in the woods as a child. I was surrounded by such good people, and growing up in the village was so lively. Still, there were times when I couldn't help but feel incredibly alone.
Alone?
How should I put it? When something's bothering you, or when you have good news to share, you always want to talk about it with somebody. But for the longest time, I didn't know who I could talk to, or if I should say anything at all. Everyone has their own problems to deal with. Even if I might want to confide in others, I don't want to become a burden.
I think I get what you mean. That's what family is for.
Really? You know exactly how I feel?
I used to have someone like that, a family member that I could talk to no matter what. But now I have a lot of friends who understand me and would be happy to hear me out.
Aww.
Wow, that sounds really nice. You're quite lucky. When it comes to our missing villager, well, I guess you could say that to me. He felt like both a family member I could rely on and a friend who could really understand me. No matter what came my way, I knew I could always talk to him. He was so thoughtful and pure, and patient too. Whenever I talked to him, he would always seem so interested, as if the things I was describing were just as important to him as they were to me. Ever since he disappeared, there's been so much I wanted to tell him. No, none of those things matters now. I just really want to see him again.
Wow. You two must have been really close. Did he ever tell you anything about himself?
He mostly just talked about interesting things he saw around the village. He'd share a lot of his own wild ideas as well. Oh, right! I did ask him about his parents once. But all he said was, they're not here anymore. I didn't know whether that meant they had left the village or passed away, and I didn't want to pry.
Still not much to go off of.
Look at me. Talking your ear off and still nothing to show for it. I'm sorry I wasn't more help.
Don't say that. You helped us understand him better.
The last time I talked this much in one go was when we were still together. Come to think of it, every time we talked, it always seemed to be around dusk, just like right now. Time always passed by really slowly. Even when it felt like we'd been talking for hours, the sun would still be at the same position in the sky.
That sounds like she was definitely in a dream.
Well, time always seems to pass slower when you're relaxed, right? What's wrong, Traveler?
It was always the same time of day, and time never seemed to pass. Based on what we've learned, this is definitely not a regular missing persons case. What Atosa just told us about time, could be the key to unraveling this whole mystery. Oh, lovely.
Hey, look at those hilly trails over there. Doesn't it seem like they're acting a little strange?
What are they not? Oh. The Abyss Mage, huh?
The Abyss Order. Could they be the ones behind all of this?
Huh. Oh.
Uh-oh, we've been spotted! Quick, get ready to fight!
Of course we've got to fight. That's funny. That's going off in that direction. I've got to do something really fast, though. There we go. So I should be able to get rid of its shield pretty fast. Are we gonna actually talk to it? No. We're not, unfortunately. I was hoping that we would, but whatever.
Here we go. Time for takeoff.
I still suspect that Paimon's actually an Abyss Mage.
My apologies.
Similar size, the fact that they all float, the promotional art.
Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting monsters to show up. If you hadn't been here, I'm not sure what I would have done.
Yeah, the promotional art with Paimon where she's holding a staff, just like, you know, the Abyss Mages tend to hold. And a lot of little clues there.
It was no trouble.
The question we should be asking now is, what is the Abyss Order doing around here?
Now that I think about it, the healing trolls around Vimara village have been a lot more active lately. They seem agitated and would often attack anything in sight. Chief Amadea doesn't allow the children to play in the area around the village anymore.
Maybe the Abyss Order really is involved. Well, we should head back and check out the situation in Vimara village just in case. If the Abyss Order is plotting something, that could spell trouble for the villagers.
What? What's going on? Oh. It just transitioned into another cutscene.
The person... It's Dainsleif!
Dane's lift, huh? Is she gonna recognize him?
It's you two.
Oh, a friend of yours?
Okay, so it's definitely not Dainsleif unless she just doesn't remember what he looked like.
Well, I'll leave you all to it then. I should head back to the village and check up on Chief Amadea and the others anyway. Well, see you later.
See ya.
Yep, see you later, Atosa! Why do you always have to pop up out of nowhere like that? Is it your life's mission to jump scare us or something?
What are you talking about, Paimon? He could accuse us of the same thing.
It's hardly personal, or intentional for that matter.
Wait,
As long as you and I are both in pursuit of the Abyss Order, we're bound to cross paths.
did he get a different voice? I don't know at this point.
Ah, so you're here to investigate the Abyss Order then. That would explain the monsters you were fighting just now.
We haven't been around Dainsleif enough to know for sure.
Naturally. Hold on. Are you not here for the same purpose?
We're also on their tail, but I'll admit, we ran into them on accident.
No matter. It may have taken you a while to catch on, but I'm sure you've also realized by now that there's something strange about this place. The Abyss Order is most certainly planning something in this area. Or worse, their plan could already be in motion.
So you think the Abyss Order is behind the hilly trail activity in the area?
Oh, definitely, Paimon.
As things stand, I highly doubt that is their primary motive. I would imagine the increased hilichurl activity is merely a byproduct of whatever it is they're really trying to accomplish.
Still, the hilichurl activity is causing a lot of problems for the people here. We should stick around for a while and protect the village, don't you think?
Wait a second. What if the Abyss Order is trying to, like, create imaginary friends that they can then use to manipulate these people with? How would that even work? I don't know. I'm more inclined to believe that whoever it was actually existed and the Abyss Order somehow made him, like, not exist anymore and these people still remember him for some reason.
The best way to protect them is by figuring out what the Abyss Order is truly planning. That is how we prevent further tragedy.
Well, let's see what more we can learn from the villages, and after that, we also owe us many answers.
And you shall have them. I never intended to hide anything from you. Don't worry. There should be ample time to talk.
You return to Vimara village to gather intel based on what you've learned. You question the villagers until eventually the sky grows dark. Okay.
Ah. So that was the commission that brought you here to Vimara village. Someone who seems to only exist in people's memories. That is indeed quite intriguing. I would agree that it's unlikely you have a simple missing persons case on your hands. However, any possible connection to the Abyss Order is still unclear. It appears all we have by way of clues is increased hilichurl activity, and that is certainly not much to go off of.
Well then, how about the intel you promised me?
Right! That mysterious voice he heard in his sister's memory. The one who called himself a sinner. Who is he?
Oh, I forgot about all that. It's been a fairly long while since then.
Traveler, let me ask you this. Do you believe your sibling to have betrayed you?
I want to have faith in her. Yeah.
I sense hesitation in your words. After all, you still haven't figured out the whole truth of what happened. There's still hope for the two of you to reconcile. Irreparable damage has not yet been done. The sinner you wish to know about, his situation is different. He and his fellow sinners have long betrayed me, and long betrayed their nation. His name is Vedrfolnir, the Visionary. I'm loath to admit it, but he is also my kin, my older brother.
Really now?
Your brother?
What happened between the two of you? What really happened in Conria back then?
There were 5 of them. The 5 sinners of Conria. The wise Roptatir. The visionary Vedrfolnir. Gold Rhindaughter.
Rhindaughter?
The foul Sertologi. And Rehir of Solnari, Rerir.
Why does Rhindaughter sound very, very familiar to me?
No matter how eroded my memory may become, I will never forget their names. One day, I shall have my vengeance.
Wait, some of those names sound really familiar. Rhindaughter is the one who created Albedo.
Oh!
Sertologi is Skirk's master.
Oh, and we, met Skirk once, I believe, right? Just the one time. It was a while back. But Albedo's master, wow.
And the one we just learned about, Dane's brother, Vedrfolnir. If he was the voice of the sinner, then the one who inspired Clothar to create the Abyss Order was him.
Somehow everything is connected. If that's true, then the stone slates we found in that ruin in Fontaine, the ones that outline Fontaine's prophecy, that was likely Vedrfolnir's doing as well. Really now.
They were once people of great esteem in Conria. Those who carried the hopes of the nation. They were the best of their peers, outstanding in their respective fields. 6 of us, together. We should have been the ones to prevent the disaster. The ones to stop the Vinster King from continuing to rock the foundation of the world. Yet, deep within, the 5 of them craved something more. They could not resist the call of the Abyss, and divided among themselves a power that could destroy the world. So they became sinners, but also transcendent beings, each in possession of world-shattering power.
So, is the Fatui Archon trying to get all of the Gnosis so that they can, fight these people? Is that what's going on with, that? And is that why the Archons are willing to give them up? That would kind of explain some things. Maybe.
And when the cataclysm occurred, not one of them stood up in defense of their nation. Not one came forward to prevent the tragedy. And for that, they shall never have my forgiveness.
And then my sibling came into contact with your brother.
Indeed. If they are not stopped, the day is sure to come when they will also betray the entire world.
It must be hard to talk about all of this, but thank you for telling me.
Of course. As I said, I never intended to hide anything from you.
So, Dane, what have you been looking into all this time?
I've continued to investigate the questions surrounding the Loom of Fate. It's been quite some time since the initial operation was launched. By retrieving the eye of the first field tiller, we were able to stop part of their plan from coming to fruition.
Oh, Paimon remembers! Weren't they going to use it to corrupt Osile and make a god or something?
Indeed. However, it's obvious that was just some sort of technical experiment. The eye was integral to their plan, yet somehow, despite failing to obtain it, they've skipped the experimental phase and found some other way to keep moving forward.
Huh.
There are many signs pointing to that effect.
Then what should we do? It's not too late, is it?
Our most pressing concern is to determine the purpose of the Loom of Fate. From there, we'll be able to deduce the Abyss Order's true objective. Based on the intel I've gathered so far, I suspect the Loom of Fate is related to the ley lines in some way.
The ley lines?
Traveler, you were able to observe your siblings' memories last time, yes? I believe that was due to the fact that the ley lines in that area were unstable. My recent investigation has shown that Abyss Order activity in a particular area is usually followed by a series of issues with the ley lines.
And one of the things that flows through the ley lines are memories.
Wait, then our commission here in Vimara Village. The person who seems to exist only in people's memories. Could it be connected?
Huh. Memories, ley lines, the Loom of Fate, the missing person that doesn't seem to exist. What's the connection between all of this? That's what I want to know.
It's certainly possible. I'll join your investigation tomorrow. This missing persons case could very well turn out to be the key to unraveling these mysteries.
Well, if we're teaming up with Dane again, we're gonna need all the energy we can get. Let's try investigating somewhere a little further away tomorrow.
So time is passing. Okay, it's the next day. I wasn't sure if they were gonna have like a dream or something of that one person.
Oh, so tired. Paimon used way too much brain juice yesterday. It's all Dane's fault saying all that complicated stuff.
I didn't sleep well either. My head's a mess.
Well, let's go find Dane. We've got a lot to do today.
Oh. Okay, so we could do that. But I think that this is where I'm going to be ending the video. Yeah, this is definitely where I'm going to be ending the video. But before that, let's see if I can make some wishes. So I can make one wish there. So let's go ahead and do that very fast. Unfortunately, it's just an emerald orb. That's fine. So anyways, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Next time I play, I will be starting off the next video with this, and then continuing the Archon Quest. Thanks again, see you next time, and bye-bye!